Hello and welcome to Sunday Live with Silvia. With me, Silvia Hartmann. I'm coming to you as I have been in the past few months from beautiful Eastbourne by the sea. And we have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful summer morning, early summer morning here today. I always say the sun is shining and the birds are singing, but the sun really is shining and the birds really are singing. And I'm excited to be here with you today. And this last week, good morning, Ilka. Hello, Ilka from Germany. Is it a beautiful day where you are, Ilka? We have a beautiful summer morning here. Ah, Helen. Good morning, Helen. That's lovely that you're here with me too. Ah, lovely leaf charm. Oh yes, my new. I like making these, and having Sunday Live is sort of an excuse to make a new one. And I wanted a leaf, and I started on the leaf, and then it sort of turned into this whole daily diamonds thing. And I'm guessing you guys know what that is. It's very, very uplifting to me, the whole idea of daily diamonds. That the real, yes, that whole thing, that the moment you're having with dewdrops on a leaf in the morning, and it becomes mystical, and it just reflects the rising sun and all the world in this one little raindrop, and you're having this fantastic moment with it. That is the real treasures and riches, the real diamonds of our life. Thank you, Helen. Helen says this is a fantastic artifact. Yes, it is. Morning, Julie. I enjoyed making that, and with modern energy art, it's a journey when you have an idea and you start and try and render it into the hard, and you have an experience. And I love these things. I do. I think they're really, really groovy. Good morning, Wendy. Lovely to have you here with me this morning. Guys, ladies, my beautiful ladies. It's cool to be of the female persuasion. But even in that, I do still like this whole idea that we are human beings first and everything else after that. And in which order you want to arrange this everything else, whatever you identify yourself with, or how you make sense of who you are in this lifetime, in which order and sequence you want to do that, whether that is by political party or by sexual preference or by race or by country where you come from or by religion, or whichever way you want to do that. I'm guessing that would be a values hierarchy in the old NLP terms. As long as we got human being first, then we have got something that we all share, I think. And I find that really helpful, especially when I'm talking to, other human beings that may have had other life experiences than me, and I try to understand where they're coming from, and I understand how they work, how their systems work, and why they do the things that they do. I just find it really, really useful to focus on this whole thing that we have in common, which is being a human being. Good morning, Bear. Hey, woohoo. Welcome. We have the entire United Kingdom, and we also have Germany, which is really nice. Yeah, so this week has been absolute insanity once again, hasn't it? In the outer world, in the world that isn't here with us. I have this, I'm not going to call it a conflict, but I'm having this duality of whether what I do should be this absolute sanctuary where we are just being positive together, where we understand each other, where we know what we're talking about, where we are all on the same page with being the shining beings, and we have understood that we, all working at raising our energy and becoming better versions of ourselves. So that's on the one hand, there's this idea of, I should offer this sanctuary in these times of insanity. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking perhaps I should do some commentary on what's really happening around us in the world, and make the connections between our way of looking at life and what's going on outside of us. Hello, Renata. Good morning. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. I haven't quite settled yet which way to go about that. Both are interesting and attractive in their own right, and slightly unsure as what to do. But one thing that made me laugh this morning was that I was listening to an interview of some guy who was quite famous, and then he got cancelled because he said the wrong thing to the wrong person. And this Twitter mob descended upon him and got him the sack and banned from everywhere. And so, yes, he wasn't a happy bunny, a cancelled person. And somebody interviewed him. And this cancelled person said this sentence, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, which was that humanity wasn't ready for the internet. And that just really made me laugh. And I thought, yeah, that's right. Humanity wasn't ready for the internet. And the reason it wasn't ready for the internet is because in order to, survive the internet, you need this. You need to understand how this works. You need to understand people, how emotions work, in order to not get involved in some crazy war of hatred and insanity and ever spiraling stress craziness. And to realize it for what it is, and to really, basically to get a grip. In order to get a grip, you need to understand emotions, and nobody understands emotions. And this is why there's this total helplessness of knowing how to deal with this situation, what to do about it, what the counter arguments could be. It is just, people just don't know how to cope with insanity. It's really as simple as that. And they're afraid of insanity. And of course, insanity, you can't argue with insanity. And so, this is it. Okay. I sort of discovered this about 5 years before the internet descended upon us. And, if everybody had known that, then perhaps humanity would have been ready for the internet, and then we wouldn't be in the crazy place where we are now. Helen says, yes, please, commentary. Yeah, that's, I can only offer the energy perspective on this. And if this current whole thing, from the global panic pandemic to the this culture of canceling people and doxing them and going back years, what they said 50 years ago, and throwing down statues of people that weren't correct 200 years ago. This whole thing, it's just insanity. It really is just the stress-induced insanity. And that's why there's no logical argument or reason to it. And this is also, if I bring this up again, right? So our systems, societal systems, are set up around this 0 point of nothing. So like when you're going to court, you're not allowed to have any emotions, or emotions aren't allowed to play into the court's decisions. It's all got to be based on facts, and emotions got to be kept out of it. And the problem with this is, look at where the power level is here, and then look at the power level here where the angry people are, the really angry people who've just gone absolutely Rah! They've got a lot more power than this person. This person here doesn't know what to do now. They don't know what to do. They haven't got a solution. They haven't got the energy to fight against this. And this is what we're seeing at the moment. You really do need a lot more love in a system. You need a lot more love in a system to solve these problems and to be able to handle these guys and calm them down and find something to make them happier again. I mean, there's another part to this. These people here, the neutral people, the people with no emotions, they're just failing to see this coming. They're not understanding how this is getting worse and worse and worse. It's a lack of attention here. They haven't got the energy, the attention, the love to give. They can't solve this. They can't hold up this tide and they can't solve it. And this is why we need more loving people who have understood this principle. And, instead of buying more helicopters that cost billions in order to fight some bizarre war that we don't even know what that's about, to do something proactive and positive. Now I'm getting a little bit too current here, and I'm getting sort of to the point where I need to return to my mission and to my place, which is a sanctuary, which is that mission of making people more energy aware. We have enough people commentating on the political situations and bringing in their various points of view, from various places on the modern energy chart. And you can nail these comments to exactly where they need to go on the modern energy chart. I need to return to my core mission, which is to tell more people about what my aspect found out in 1993. And that is that energy is real and we need to learn how to deal with it. And that the only way towards better performance is more love, putting more love into people, putting more love into systems. That is, if we want to have more people be happy. And that's a whole other story, isn't it? Ooh. Pavel just said, "Hello, Silvia. At least my life is going better and better. I realize how to communicate with my parents on a deep level, ask them for their star stories, and this is good for their health too." That is wonderful, Pavel. This is one of the side effects of Star Matrix, and that whole Star Matrix is, yes, it's my legacy project. Yes, it's what I've been looking for all my life. But it is only really a result of thinking in a different way about the world. Thinking about, well, how can we empower people? How can we do this so that it doesn't hurt? It's not difficult. It's natural. It's easy. And over the years, I've found lots of different ways of doing that. But Star Matrix, which is guiding people back to their own best positive memories of their lives so that they can learn something from them, and also asking other people about the best memories of their lives so they can learn something from that and a rapport begins to happen. Well, I mean, you could say this is exactly what we're not having here at the moment. We're not having that. We're concentrating on everybody's flaws and the worst memories. And we're focusing in on the worst memories. And you just couldn't have a better example of how that destabilizes not just an individual person when that happens, but entire neighborhoods, entire societies. And here I say to myself, good grief, can I ever turn the tide? No, not by myself. No, absolutely not. I need other people to understand that too and go out and explain this to people. It needs to ripple. It really does. It needs to ripple. More people need to be told about this. I firmly believe that people don't want to be angry and hateful all the time. It may look like they do, and that they're trying to find ever more reasons to be angry and hateful, whoever they may be. And that is how Twitter works. And, that people are going around really hungrily, like vultures pecking at corpses to just drag out the last little bits that they can find from the rotting bones. But I still believe firmly that people don't want to be unhappy or hateful. That people want to love and be loved. I believe that with all my heart. I really do. We were born that way. We were born that way, to want to love and to be loved. Getting emotional now. What can I say? That's okay. I can get emotional. I realize that there's a lot of energy flowing, and I have my own personal reversals on various things. And I would have liked to have been loved more and criticized less. And perhaps we can come down to that, and just people saying, I would have loved to have been loved more. I could have been a better person in every way if I'd been loved more. That's the core thing. It's a crazy thing. It is totally controversial. If I was really out in public, which I'm not, I'm only talking to like 10, 20 people here. That's probably by design, to protect myself. I'd be cancelled in a heartbeat for saying such things. I'd be cancelled in a heartbeat. That love is the answer to this, and that everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. And not just that, people want to give love. That is so hard as well in the societies that we have found ourselves entrapped in, to try and give love. Whoa, that's why we have pets. They don't argue with us. Okay, so righty-ho, as it were. I'm going to show that. Ilka says, I love you. Me too. I would have liked to be loved more and criticized less. Yeah, really, yeah. And criticism comes in all sorts of guises. It comes in prejudice. Yeah, Renata, I completely concur. Criticism comes in prejudice. It comes in not listening to you and ignoring you. See, this is my original animal behavior research. We had these animals who were attention seeking. And they were attention seeking. And if they were ignored, they would get more and more angry. You can call it that. Stressed. They get more and more stressed. And the more you ignore them, the more stressed they would become. And if that went through a threshold shift, then that stress would turn into direct aggression and attack. It's like that attention that wasn't given is then forcefully, physically taken by biting and taking chunks out of you. It's a crazy thing, but totally predictable. It's totally predictable. And we found with these animals, with these really, really sort of dangerous, disturbed, crazy animals, that if you gave them positive attention, meaning you just looked at them and says, you're a good dog, or you are a beautiful horse, and you kept that up, that they would calm right down. And then, to our utter amazement, because we were only trying to stop negative behaviors, we were only trying to stop them from attacking us or other people. But what we found, that if you kept it up, that there was this total threshold shift, and this previously crazy creature was actively trying to make a relationship with you, trying to help you. It was extraordinary. power of positive attention, that energy that we give when we look at someone or something and we give them positive attention, unconditional positive attention. That's the thing, unconditional. The horse wasn't a good horse. The dog wasn't a good dog. They were very, very naughty. Very, very naughty. But the cure for that was to look at them and just to say, you are a beautiful horse. You're wonderful. You are everything I ever dreamt of in a horse. I love you. That was the cure. And we did that with dozens and dozens and dozens of creatures. And then eventually you just couldn't not know that this would work for people too. You just couldn't not understand that this works for people too. It's that's an interesting question. I'm going to share that. Bear said, I would have loved to have been loved more, and yet I feel it has been a part of my journey. I wonder if I would have ever learned how important it was to love and show love to my children without my experiences. I now know truly the value of love. Yes, I understand where you're coming from, Bear. But, but, there are better ways to learn the true value of love than not receiving it and hurting from the lack of it. There are better ways. Children model naturally on their parents or on their keepers, like I like to say, because the people around a child don't necessarily need to be the parents, and often they're not. There could be employees or other relatives, or they couldn't even be related to the people that they're living with, or they're in an institution for that matter, the keepers. Children model on their keepers. And if children are really loved, they understand the value of love. They do not have to be deprived of love in order to understand the value of love. That is an absolute fact. And so yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Bear, and I weep that you had to come to it the hard way. Like myself, we had to come to it the hard way. I want to make it easier, or just easy or natural or normal for the next generations as a part of my legacy. They don't have to work so hard to understand the power of love, that it's kind of a right of a human being to have focused attention upon them, and that this be unconditional. I know I'm dreaming, but you have to have a goal. Yeah, so that was pretty heavy, wasn't it? I titled this "Fun and Games with Sylvia and Friends." There's some fun and games, isn't it? But yes, it's one of those crazy things. One of those crazy things. In the meantime, and I think this is also really important. In the meantime, we are in the excellent position to be able to choose whether we want to engage with this or not. Look, the very fact that I'm saying that I'm having a bit of a dilemma, do I want to talk about, today's stuff, or do I want to create a perfect sanctuary where we can be entirely above this stuff? The fact that I even have this choice. Wow, there are a lot of people in the world who do not have this choice. For them, the hard is all there is, and the Muppet dance of the hard is all there is, and they haven't got the ability to simply take a different point of view, visit a different world, and just be in a different space altogether, in a space where love is perfect and beautiful, and where we are looking around ourselves and taking in nature energies and enjoying our daily diamonds and our leaves in the grass. The fact that we have that choice. I think that a lot of the very angry, hateful people just don't. They don't have that choice at all. For them, this reality is all there is. So I think, hey, we are blessed that we can make that decision. So, choices are good. We are very fortunate. Yes. I think when I was young, I was really at the mercy of my emotions. I had very powerful emotions and very little control over them. This made me very scared, and I'd be like really terrified of me freaking out and what the hell I was going to say, what I was going to do. And whoa, it was very, very scary, very scary. And I likened that as being like a cork bobbing on this raging river, and you totally have no control over the situations around you, what is happening to you. And there's a big waterfall at the end with sharks, or I don't know what awaits you there on the other side. But it's this out of control feeling is just, I'm particularly grateful for not being so frightened or worried about that anymore. Absolutely, I am not some kind of happy saint who sits there going and being all happy all the time. Not at all. I have my -7 moments. I freak out. I get angry. I get depressed. All of those things, just not for as lengthy, and it doesn't bother me as much. I'm a human being. God damn it! Waves human being flag again. I'm a human being, and I reserve the right to not always be in the very best of energy states. And, I'm doing my best to raise my energy average, to give a contribution, to work on my own problems. I'm really am doing my best, always have done, trying to be a better member of human society and the human race. And yeah, really, what more can you ask? I don't think you can ask any more than that. Okay, guys, so what shall we do? Let's do something fun. We've been here quite a while, haven't we? Woohoo! Let's put Martin on the screen. Martin says, oh yes, we all have our up and down times. Yes, we do. It's just one of those things, isn't it? I feel now that we can have any emotion you want to have it, just as long as you don't have it for very long. An emotion is an energy body state. Hell arrives when our energy body states get stuck somewhere. Like a person that is always stuck at +5 and drives everybody crazy and has just, the demented American happy rabbit. Sorry about the Americans, but they're, the McDonald's style. Have a nice day, which is just getting stuck in depression, getting stuck in feeling nothing, getting stuck in anger. All of that's really, really bad. The only place I'd like to get stuck in is in love. I don't know if that's possible. I shall expand my hope for what is possible for us. I wouldn't mind getting stuck at +10. That'd be kind of groovy. But I'm having this funny feeling that in this incarnation, I'm not going to be reaching that goal. Oh, this is really good. Renata said, I was able to turn around some disappointing news in less than 5 minutes with our choices. Exactly. I've had some weird stuff going on, and I'll just put that down to, well, one of the things I did yesterday, I think, was I have a beautiful string of 300 colored fairy lights that is giving me wonderful joy every night when the night falls. And yesterday I managed to cut through them with a pair of garden shears when I was trimming some bushes. I have no idea how that happened. I was really careful. I don't know. So past aspects of mine would have screamed and shouted and pulled their hair out and rolled around on the floor. But I just went, huh, oh well, better repair that then. And got the sticky tape and just repaired them basically. And that took quite a while, 45 minutes out of my life I will never get back. But I just repaired it. It was done. Excellent. That's the way forward. Even if we do make mistakes and under stress or are distracted or what have you, it's nothing gained from, you know, self-mutilation. There's nothing gained from self-mutilation. Nothing. Nothing at all. Try your best to move forward, guys. We are human beings. Yes, Sasanti. Hey, hop. I'm blessed to acknowledge it when things happened and have the power to manage the energy back. We are a human being. Yes, we are. Absolutely. And, anybody who will ever say to you, oh, as an energist, you're not allowed to ever get angry at yourself or anybody else, or, you need to float around like some angel and eat air. Just tell them to off, grow up, become a human being. Allow yourself to become a human being. By repressing our various sort of things, that's also not the way forward, or pretending we don't have it. That used to be really a problem in the olden days. People used to pretend to be happy when they were not. So, okay, this can be a benefit of the Twitter culture, is people no longer pretend to be happy when they're not. There may be now people who are pretending to be angry when they're not, just so they also have something to shout about. But up and down goes yin and yang. We'll see where that what the next thing is going to be that comes to us. Helen says, all emotions have something interesting in them. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. Completely agree. The energy flow is information flow. That's completely linked. And especially now, it may be said that one of the things that I would like to say in that context, like when you're depressed or angry, whatever it is you're thinking, it really isn't worth the paper that it isn't written on, because a stressed person will think or say all kind of foolishness. There has no rhyme, there has no reason, there is no logic in it. If you get, like, say, a married couple and they're fighting and they start shouting abuse at each other, is that the deep, dark truth? Is that what they really think about each other or themselves? And the answer to that is no, it's not. It's a stressed version. It's a crazy version. You can ignore that. I mean, forget it. Everybody says stupid stuff under stress. And the more stressed you are, in a direct and measurable cause and effect, the stupider what you're saying does become. The less logical, the less sensible, the less loving, the less practical, even. The less practical. If thy eye offends thee, cut it out. This is not practical. You might get an infection from the self-eye out cutting and then you die. It's just not practical. Tapping around of even old-fashioned EFT is more practical than cutting out your own eye if you're being offended. Let's be practical, really practical. Okay, guys, let's just we've been here now quite a while. We're over time already. Wow, look at that. So let's do a little exercise, just a little exercise here. All right, and here's what I want to do. And I don't want to hop, but I think that human being thing, that you're a human being first before you are anything else. And by a major mile, you're a human being first. I think that is helpful. It's helpful, it's healing, it's amazing, considering how little we know about how human beings really work in mind, body, and spirit. I found this one little thing, and this whole cascade of potential and possibility has unfolded from this one little thing that, social mammals exchange energy between them. Duh. And this energy exchange causes our behavior. Wow. Oh, if we all started to love each other and support each other, oh my God, what marvelous human beings could we become? No idea. So, what I'm going to invite you guys to do with me today, if you would, bring forth your wonderful energy hands and just briefly place them in your heart center, in the energy field, the massive energy field of your heart center. Just place them in there so that they know we want them to activate and switch on and do something. Okay, are you ready? Fingers tingling a little bit? Excellent. I would like to invite you to join me in a round of applause for all human beings who have lived their lives on this planet and tried to make it work. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for all human beings, please. Woohoo! Well done, you guys. Survived ice ages. Still here today. Still arguing. Still fighting. Woohoo! Still alive. Well done. So there we go. Fun and games. Let's give humanity a little bit of love and attention and a bit of compassion and the kind of understanding you would give to children, unsupervised children who've run riot and put too much plastics in the ocean and who didn't understand what would happen to the environment when you cut down all the trees and who done all sorts of crazy shit and are still doing all sorts of crazy shit. They're not going to get any better by berating them, by hating them, by showing them what they've done wrong over and over again, by making them feel ashamed of themselves and of each other. This is not going to heal this, no more than shouting abuse at a naughty dog or a naughty horse is going to heal it of its behaviors. It needs that whole human being, humanity thing, needs love. It needs compassion. It needs that we should embrace it 100% and say, okay, guys, right, let's try and find some positive solutions now to the hideous mess we find ourselves in. Let's stop it with the shame and the guilt and whose fault is what. Let's just concentrate on how to make this better, because I know you can do better, because you are all human beings and you are fantastic. You are made from stardust. You have the breath of the creator within you. You have minds that are greater than the fucking galaxy. And together we can create miracles. Woohoo! And that was my word for Sunday. And yeah, I mean, let's just follow that principle that my aspect discovered and just try and add some more love into the situation wherever we can, whenever we can. So I am going to wish you a wonderful, wonderful Sunday and the rest of the week. Be in a position of choice whether you want to engage or want just to soar and be, happy anyway, regardless of what's going on around you. I am I'm really grateful for you and your presence and your support in these challenging times. And I look forward to seeing you again next week for Silvia Live for Sunday. Lots and lots of love to you. And to you, Paul. Bye bye for now. Bye.